So guys, Stock here again with another round of advice. Number 8, feelings. Plutonic, romantic, between two or more people. Probably just two people. Anyways, when I was talking about this with Yomi, kind of got me thinking about what are the factors that I go through in the processes of figuring out platonically whether or not I want to engage or create something, or romantically whether or not I want to engage and or create something. And I kind of came up logically with 4 reasons. One is physical attraction, where when I look at my own personal friends, my own personal group of friends, we all kind of have the same physicalities in common, more or less. You know, how we dress, or how we appear, or how well we take care of ourselves or we don't, and the type of activities we engage in as friends all kind of falls under the same general, physicalities, which in turn becomes that physical attraction that we have. Um, when we're talking about romantic, for instance, for me personally, it just falls under being visually stimulated when you're looking at somebody, which in a sense means that you're visually, physically attracted to them. And that's very important because, oh, you got to live with that person, and everything like that. Not to say it like that, but that's kind of what it is, more or less. When you come up in age, it comes to that time where it gets more technical, and you have to live with your choices, and it's not like you can make excuses or anything about it. You want to make sure that you maximize on everything that you can, and it's kind of real cutthroat to think of it that way, but that's kind of what it is when you get up there in age. Number two being experiences, whether plutonic or romantic, you want to get to know them. What is a part of them? Their experiences, their past, what builds them and shapes them and cultivated to build what you have in front of you now. What you're taking the time to try to get to know, try to understand better, is their experiences. Why they act the way they act, their experiences a lot of times. What kind of background, what kind of home life they had, what kind of friends they had, what kind of experiences they had growing up to get to where they are now. Experiences, past experiences, end up being a big major part of why we are the way we are. Number 3 is action. I feel action is a big part because for me, I translate action to knowledge directly. Whereas I can't act some way if I don't know how to act that way. I can only act what I know, and I can't act what I don't know. Very logical, very simple. Pretty much how people act is what they know. They only act what they know, and they can't act what they don't know. So be very careful about that, and be very observant and patient about that part, because it takes time for people to become comfortable with you, or to become comfortable with the surroundings or the environment for them to be themselves. And even longer time must be taken with people that you're cautious about, because you're not too sure if they're deceptive or manipulative, or they're cons, where they're just trying to get you for whatever useless reason or whatever selfish reason, which in that case means that you give them ample time, and you be ample in your patience, and you see them completely come out as they really are. That's important. That comes from somebody who's been through a lot more bad than good. You know better, and that's called wisdom. You know better. Number 4 is sociable, whether or not they're sociable people. What kind of friends do they have? What type of people those friends are, where they go and how they hang out, how they interact with other people, how they talk or how they don't talk to people, is very important, because that is something that's going to, one way or another, directly or indirectly, become reflective on you. Whether platonically, when people see you with them and they know who they are but they don't know who you are, they're going to make the assumption that you're like them. That's why you're with them. And if you can't live with that, then don't engage with that, and that's kind of what it is when we look at people. Like, let's just say Sadaki here, I'm not a druggie, per se. Well, actually, I'm not a druggie. Like, let's just be real, I'm not a druggie. But for the sake of this over exaggerated example that I'm going to give you guys, I'm not a druggie. But why am I hanging out with a whole group of druggies, people who are very obviously druggies? Why would I hang out with them? When other people are looking in from outside in, what are they seeing? They're seeing a whole bunch of people who are obviously druggies, and they're seeing Sadaki right in the middle of the whole group. Walking with them, talking with them, saying the lingos and stuff like that. What does that make me look like? One druggie, eh? If I'm not a druggie, why would I hang out with druggies? Case in point being made right there. That if you're not something, why are you gonna go for that something? You know? You just gotta make sure that the reasoning and everything is backing up your action. Regardless of any of those four factors, reasoning is being right there by your side. So this is Sadaki saying that you need to know before you go. And to be patient enough and be observant enough to take your time. Because if it means that much to you, then you have no problem taking your time. Stay funky, brass monkeys. Stay chill, Kimosawis, and I'll see you guys on the next vlog. Shoots.